we're working on this end wall, and we come into what I didn't know was going to be so much of a problem. Well, number one, like, I've determined that that is not siding. That looks like it's probably for ceilings, but I guess it works, so we'll leave it. So if I put this here, that's all exposed. Right, I could put flashing along this side, but that still leaves a gap. I could put foam board and this out to here, but there's nothing to screw it into. You can't screw that siding into foam board. I could put something behind it, something thin, but then the screws will stick through. And it still leaves a gap here. So, right, if this was a permanent joint, then I would put a outside corner thing and be done, but it isn't. And these need to come off and move and go back in without too much of a problem. So I am in the ponderance. I was thinking I could do something like this to cover that joint, but then I have nothing. I guess I could screw it to here, but then this, you know, unless I had a bigger section that came out overlapped, I'd have to do my custom flashing to make a joint that covers that, which is a possibility. But then to get that on, like I was planning on setting this down, which this is going to be in the way. It has a lip on it. I'd have to bend it back or come from the side, and that, you know, the wall, this front wall has to come on and off by itself, because that's how I'm going to load and unload and check without taking the end walls and the back wall off. So what does all that mean? All right, let's have a look. So this is a thought that had come in, and this is the philosophy. This 2x4 frame, main intent is to be structural. It is supposed to support all of this. It was not meant to be a weather resistant shell. It was not meant to be a fully insulated panel. Its main intent was to support the roof and keep everything in place. So I'm going to try with that is that this corner here needs to have a separate piece to make it waterproof. It is not the intent of this section here. So that's my philosophy. I think that's going to help. So this is what we're going to do. Just like we did on this side, we're going to put foam board up to the edge. We're going to put our, I was going to get my, hang on, I'm going to go get some siding. Okay, so this wall has 1/2-inch foam. It will have siding, the edging, same as this has 1/2-inch foam, the siding, which is really ceiling stuff, and this edge piece, which leaves this corner here to need to be waterproofed and mildly windproofed, but mostly to keep the water out and not allow a direct path for the air, but it's not the intent that there's going to be foam on the inside. It's going to be used to actually, that's going to be the intent of the foam, is to keep the air currents and the heat loss out. So I'm thinking a 2x4 in like this, and I gotta put my knee up, and I'm gonna put flashing that's gonna go this way and tuck back here. So then once the wall pieces are in, I just need to put this piece here and tuck the flashing around there, and that should waterproof, well, let's say driven rain proof, snow, wind-blown snow, I don't know, but at least wind-driven rain will keep out of that corner, and it will minimize airflow through there. All right, so I have made up I just bent some flashing around with my hand ones. That's why it's not very big, just to see. So this is what we would think. That would go there. That tucks on that side, so driving rain will not get behind, will not get front. Obviously this goes all the way up to the top. And then driving rain will not get in on that side. And it'll be all the way up to the top and all the way to the bottom. So that's what I'm thinking. And these screws, I do have the screws from the roofing, which have the washers on them. I could put that, or just put some caulk, or not worry about it, one of the two. Right. I use my foot to hold it up. So now how do I keep that piece in there? I gotta keep it from going this way. I gotta keep it from moving this way. I have to keep it from moving this way. You know, it's feeling like I'm just gonna drive a screw right through there. Or at the top or at the bottom, be done with it. Unscrew it when I take it apart. I don't have a better solution right now. And let's have a look at the bottom. I have to sit in the ground here to get low enough. Hang on a second. Butt down here. All right, so on the bottom side, you can see this is, here's a drip edge in the bottom, and we'll extend this flashing piece down to pick up all that. Any water will be underneath the floor seam, and until I come up with something different, you know, in line with 2x4, somewhere here is gonna get a panhead screw that's 1.5 inches, so a 3-inch, 2-inch, 3-inch, I don't know. Just gonna drill it in and drill it at the top, and until I figure out a different way. So that's my plan. And I might make these just a little bit longer, because down here this sticks out a bit. It's not flush. So I would be better off making this a little bit deeper. So that is my current thought. Now on this wall, you know, the plan is that floor goes down, the back wall goes in, 2 end walls go in. I put whatever foam insulation, I load my wood, then I put this wall on it and I put the roof on it. If I want to check, I tip the roof up. I can remove this wall, the plan, while everything else is intact, to get to taking my wood out, putting another load in or whatever. So that means that I would have to unscrew, screw and unscrew that corner piece every time I wanted to move that wall. So I need to ponder this front piece. Here's another firing solution. Let me pull up my chair. All right, take my glasses off. So look at this. Instead of having that big block on the outside, I made a, can I see that tucks underneath? It has a hem, and then it goes behind this wall and gets tacked back there. And I made the same thing for this one. It gets tucked between insulation, between the foam board and the side. Put a hem here, and that goes inside and gets tacked inside. So now driving rain this way will not get into anything. If it's this way, it'll get behind here a little bit, but that is all going to be a channel. I can even make that a little bit deeper. and it should just flow down, no different than water getting inside this channel and having to go down. So then that protects all of this, and then the only thing where driving rain can get in is that. Does that help me with anything? I don't know. It was fun built. It was fun playing. This for driving rain to get in. I could make a hem, push it in there, something like that, and then water will not be able to get in there. If water comes this way, it goes on the outside of that. Could it get in there still? I guess it traveled far enough. Yeah, then this could bend over maybe and attach up to here. Or perhaps if we still did these just to get everything secure, put a hem that would just push in. If this was a little bit thicker, it'd have a little more staying power, but it could go over this and then go over this to kind of lock it in place. And then, I suppose it went over the edges. Then driving rain this way won't get in. Driving rain this way has a hem. And then if it wrapped around, driving rain. Yeah, I don't know. Well, those are some internal as opposed to external ideas. Okay, we bought more siding and supplies, and the thought is to do the two ends and take this wall apart and get rid of the wooden side and put the foam board there. So that's what we're going to get started on. Okay, after further review of the play on the field, I'm going to take these individual sections through my hatch into the basement and work where it is warm and light, because it is cold and rainy today and my fingers don't want to be out here. We don't want to be working out here. All right, so further review of the play on the field. I put the side channel level with the bottom. The drip edge extends back. If water gets behind here and it's coming down, it's going to drip here, which is at where the floor is. I think I gotta move this channel all the way down. And I guess I might as well do it now. Yeah, so that's my thought. So I moved that to the end. I think that's what I want. And if not, I'll just take it apart and redo it. Okay, well, I guess somehow I thought that a full piece would come up to here, but somehow my calculations are wrong, so now I gotta cut like a little triangular piece there. All right, we got this wall kind of done up. We're gonna go put it in and see what we think of it. Come on. Survey says okay, well, I'm thinking it's looking good, right? And then we gotta do an outside weatherproof corner strip for that. Here's a second end wall. We compromised. We didn't go to the top or the bottom of the wall. We didn't go to the bottom of the thing because it was kind of hard to get that piece in. So just enough beyond the seam, floor seam. All right, I think it might go get my sawmill up and running again with another blade on there. And here's the other end wall. So this, I ran out of time today. We gotta take all that off, get rid of that wood and put in foam. And then we'll be ready to work on these corners, get the roof on and get it outside. And then the next thing is to work on the insulation on the inside. That's get the insulation, how I want to configure it, how to get my boards loaded, and then give it a try.